All right, cool. We're recording. So, TradingView tutorial, real quick for you guys. And like I said, go ahead and interrupt me or anything like that if you do have any questions. We'll start out over here, top left. Of course, you guys know if you do markup charts on TradingView and all that stuff, you do know that when you are first starting up, you're going to need to create some sort of account. Okay. TradingView will let you use its services for free, like maybe for like 10 to 15 minutes before it prompts you to make an account. So you'll simply put your information in, make your account, and you can also go to, I want to see, account and billing. And I'm pretty sure that it's not going to have me, or it's not going to show all my information. I'm just going to go here real quick and we can go over the plans. So I have the Pro Plus plan. Of course, starting out, the basic plan is free. When you move up to the Pro Plus plan, then you get more features. If you haven't been to the screen yet, I highly recommend going in here and checking out the features that the upgraded plans for TradingView will give you. Basic plan is free. Right here, as you can see, it's got its top features. Right here, you got your drawing tools, customize your charts, some sort of back testing, and I'm assuming they're talking about the replay feature. You got the Pro plan, $15. You get a little more. The Pro Plus right here, you can either pay for 6 months free, or not 6 months free, but you can pay month to month and it adds up to that. Premium, I don't really mess with premium. I don't need all that on my charts. So, and you can just scroll down and see what you need. The Pro Plus plan, like I said, me and Marcus share one. And that one allows multiple users under the same account. You can save your chart layouts. You can have multiple alerts on each chart. In case you need more than one. I often use more than one. So when I'm away for my computer, I can know whether or not I'm in profit or out of profit, not just like I'll set it to where it's maybe a little bit in or a little bit out of profit, so I know I'm going in the right direction, rather than setting an alert for whether my trade hit my stop or if I hit my take profit. So Pro Plus plan is just fine for me. Utilizing these features, especially the replay feature for back testing and the multiple alarms on one chart. Very beneficial, especially if you're starting to get more consistent. You find yourself maybe in front of your computer a little too often. You can go ahead and get that and have multiple alerts on each of your charts. So those are the plans. You can go through it at your leisure, figure out what works best for you and your skill level and your trading plan and all that stuff. You may not need this, okay? Maybe the Pro, it's only $15 a month, or even the basic if you don't need all that stuff at all. You can use other alert apps such as call levels. It's on your phone. You just put in the you can just put in the price point and whatever pair that you want to set an alert for, and you link it up with the server, whether it's Oanda, FXCM, currency.com, whichever one of those, and it'll set the alert for you. Once price reaches that point, then you can open up your chart and see that price is right there where you want it to be, and you execute your trade from there. But those are the plans, and we'll go ahead and transition back to the chart, and we'll start pretty much, where am I at? Okay, cool. And I was on AJ, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to that because I know that one is blank. Well, it was blank. Now it's blank. Okay, cool. So we can start up here. Up here, obviously, you put in whatever pair you guys didn't know, you don't even have to click up here. You can just type in whatever on your screen and it'll show up right there. Okay. So either way you want to do it, the same drop down menu will show up. Okay. And we always tell people, when you're looking for a certain server, because every time you pull up your chart, everybody has different servers. I use Oanda. I know Marcus, some of his charts are FXCM, and that's just how it is. But you want to choose a server that's going to best match up with your broker. Okay. If you do that, then your I'm sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. If you do that, then your charts will sync up with your server. You'll be able to execute your trades more precisely, and you'll pretty much be in a better position to make your money. So just choose whichever one of these that's best for you, and you'll be fine. Okay, because all of these will come up differently. So that's that. It's the same. If you were to type it up here, the same drop down box will come up. Okay. Obviously from here, you can switch your tabs up here, your stocks, your futures that have USD in it, your Forex pairs that have USD in it. If you look, there's so many different pairs just for USD. We only really deal with the Forex pairs. So anything in here, you pretty much click on any chart and it'll come up just like AJ's up here. Your crypto, everything. Okay, indexes, all that stuff. Okay, so that's the top right. You have your time frames here as well. Of course, you can always go in here and you see these little stars that are pretty much clicked on the side. If you favorite these, then they'll all show up just like this. Okay, I can unfavorite them and they'll disappear from up there, and pretty much the same. And it's going to be the same for your drawing tools. Actually, I don't like 3 minutes. It's going to be the same for your drawing tools over here. Okay, as you can see, I've favorited these down here, and when you start to favorite them, then they'll show up in this bar down here. So I can take this off if you want to manually open or manually close this bar that has your favorite tools in it. You just go to this star down here in the bottom left corner. Click on that, it'll disappear. Okay. On all of your drawing tools here on the side, if you notice, and I forgot to change this, I prefer this dot. I just like it a little better. This will change pretty much, your cursor, your dot, an arrow, pretty much whatever you want. Your preference. Same thing with the trendline tools. All these are favorited. You just take your favorite ones and click on this star, and it'll show up in your favorites bar, which is located right there. Turn it on and off, boom, you're good. Okay. Going through these, I know some people ask me where's the rectangle, or pretty much how we mark these zones out like this. It's just the rectangle. That's all it is. And it's in this third spot. You click on this little arrow next to geometric shapes, boom, you got your rectangle. Okay. You have your clips, all this other stuff. I just favorite these two. But yeah, that's that. You have your text here, your call outs, your balloons, all that stuff. You can just favorite those as well. Whenever you're trying to, you see writing on the chart and everything, that comes from the text box. Okay. And you have your long position, short position. So when we in markets are trying to gauge how many pips something can go for, then we click our long position tool down here, and it'll automatically pull up a 1-to-1 ratio for a long position, which is a buy. okay? As you scroll up on these little boxes on the side, you scroll up from this one, it's gonna extend your take profit. This one extends your stop loss. Each time you extend or bring it in closer, this little info bar is gonna change as you're doing that, okay? So you can gauge roughly what your risk to reward is gonna be. And this is a great way to pretty much manage or use your risk management for each trade. If you're going for a 2-to-1 or even a 3-to-1, you can just adjust this until that ratio reaches that. Okay, you're at about a 3. That's a 3-to-1 ratio right there. Okay. How you calculate pips to dollars so you know your loss or profit in cash? That's going to depend on, one, your account size, okay? And two, that's going to depend on the amount of pips that you're going for. There's pip calculators not within TradingView, but like say that, because this isn't gonna tell you or calculate for you how many pips for your lot size that you're putting on any standard trade. Okay, we can go over that in another lesson. I actually wanted to do that as well, so we can get you guys on a good track of how to calculate your pips for your trading plan and for your account size. And it's actually a great tool that we put out. I know we put out that 90-day spreadsheet, and that has everything in there for you. We could put it out again soon. Maybe after this Zoom, we can just update it because I know a lot of people missed it. But we do have a 90-day spreadsheet that calculates all of that for you. You'll be able to track the amount, the lot size that you're supposed to be having, the amount of pips per trade that you take in accordance with your account size. All of that stuff is calculated in there for you. It's completely customizable. So using pip calculators and stuff like that is, I guess, it's just easier, and it'll actually work out better for you. So you don't have to do those calculations every time. Okay, so we will put that out again for you. You got your arrows over here, same thing. You got your ruler. This is like another type of pip counter as well. So you can go ahead and calculate how big of a move you're trying to gauge. So if you're having trouble navigating this, as you can see, every time I'm going to get rid of this bar. Every time I got my little wheel right here on my mouse, and scrolling up and down on this little wheel, you can see price. Yeah, price is adjusting automatically to pretty much fit to scale. Okay. If you notice, I can click on the screen and I can just move side to side, and the chart will still fit to scale. Okay. If you want to customize it more, and if you want to have more freedom over how you move your chart, you can just come over here to the price scale on the right hand side. Okay. And you see how my dot turned into this little cursor, an up and down cursor. You click on this price scale, you move your mouse up and down just a little bit. Like, you don't have to do it a whole lot, but you can do it just a little bit. Okay. You click on here, move it a little bit. Now you can come over to the chart. I can click on the chart and I can move it around like I want to. Okay. This is a great option that a lot of people don't know about. And you can really get into positioning your chart to where it works best for you, instead of just having to adjust to a fit to scale. Okay. So I use that often. I'll come over here, just do this real quick, and then come over here. But at the same time, you can shrink it, you can expand it while you're holding on the price scale on the right hand side. Okay. You do that like that, This date scale down here, it doesn't do the same thing. All it does is kind of bring in price a little bit more and then expand it out. Okay. But for the most part, your price scale is what's gonna unlock the option for you to move your chart around freely like this. Okay. If you don't like that, say you try it out and you want to get back to how price is fitting back to scale, all you gotta do is right click, hit reset chart, and now you're back at price to scale. Okay. So that's how you unlock that type of functionality to move your chart at will. Moving along up here at the top, you have your bars menu. You can drop down. I have Heikinashi on here favorited, but this is where you can access the different types of candlesticks, your Renko, your line chart, your bars, if you prefer those. But not everyone, but I like using and I prefer regular candlesticks because they give a lot more information. Okay. But yeah, you can switch all of those here on this bar. You have your line chart, all that stuff. Okay. Pretty simple stuff. The Renko, you can only really access the Renko if you have a paid membership. And I believe you have to have at least the Pro Plus to be able to look at your Renko chart on lower time frames. If you have the free version, then it'll only allow you to look at the daily. Okay. Renko is another trend-based candle, and as you can see, it's a lot easier to follow. Takes out a lot of the noise, just like the Heikinashi candles do. Being able to trade like this would be a lot more beneficial. It kind of didn't appeal to me, but I would like to learn more about it to be able to, hold my trades a little longer and just take out all the noise. Cause I see a lot of people on social media and all that stuff that swear by Renko candles because it just makes everything so much easier. So I do plan to get on that. But in the meantime, candlesticks it is. So this compare, really can't tell you about it. I really don't mess with it. I guess it'll just bring up like another chart. I don't know. Let's see what it do. Okay. Well, you know what? I don't want to do it anymore. Indicators, you have your favorites here, and then, you pull it up, search for whatever indicator, and it'll bring it up. Also, a new feature that I just found out from one of my other groups is this candlestick pattern indicator. And I was like, what? They got candle? Checked it out a little bit. And you click on it, it has all of these that come up. Okay. And it'll identify whichever one that you click on within the chart. And I thought it was pretty slick. So I clicked on the Doji, and as you can see, it's identifying all the dojis with this little house that says Doji. And then you click on it and it gives you a little description of that candlestick. I thought that was pretty cool. I've never seen that. And I think they did that update, like, I want to say about 2 weeks ago. So I've been kind of testing it out a little bit, see if I want to incorporate it in there. I have to do some back testing on it to see when this indicator pops up. And I might be utilizing it, man. I don't know. But it will come up as an indicator on your indicator list over here. Okay. And you can go in here, check the settings, labels. That's pretty much all it is. It's not gonna do anything else. The precision, I'm not sure about. All I know is that, hey, it identifies the doji just like it did. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So you do have that in your indicators list if you want to check it out. use that for your back testing as well. And also use it to be able to identify the candlestick patterns and the individual candlesticks that me and Marcus preach about. So you'll be able to spot those in real time. And also say certain people only trade when certain candlesticks present themselves. So if you're a bullish engulfing type of person and you only like to trade out bullish engulfings, you click on that. And when one pops up, then it's going to be obvious. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take my trade from there. So very good. I love this edition. I'm going to be utilizing this some more. I just got to do some more back testing on it. These financials and these templates, I really don't mess with. Okay. Just going to be honest. I'm not going to try to speak on something I don't use. Your alerts. Now this is for, like I said, for the paid versions, for the free version as well. Okay. You get, for the basic free plan, you get one alert. I want to say it's one alert per chart. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check on that for you. But you have a limited amount of alerts. With the paid versions, you can have more. So if you click on this alert, you have your pair right here. If you come down here, you can change the settings at which you want your alert to be triggered at, okay? So right now, this is where it's saying that it's at current price. So it's where it's saying this alert is going to be set at. So if we say crossing, you can say crossing up, crossing down, greater than, less than, entering channel, inside channel, outside, moving up, moving down, percentage, and all that stuff. I usually just keep it at crossing because all this other stuff is like, for me, is just too much. I just want to set my alert when price has reached my alert level. Okay. You can switch the value, and this is for your indicators. See how I have these EMAs up here? You can also set alerts for your indicators. Okay, if you do use indicators, and like say for instance the EMAs, let me bring those up right quick. Okay, if I want to set an alert for my EMA, I'm gonna go back to this one. I'll do the right click next for your alerts. I can set whichever EMA I wanted to, and that's pretty much telling me that once price hits my EMA, then it's going to go off. Okay. My alert is going to go off. You can have your different options up here. You can have it only once per bar. So once per bar says the alert will trigger every time the condition is met, but not more than one time per bar. So if you miss an alert and then it comes back, I see this getting set off multiple times when price is in consolidation. Pretty much around your indicator or your EMA or whatever it is. You could have it once per minute. Okay. It's like an alarm clock. I have mine like this because I don't want to miss my alerts wherever I set them. Once my alert comes up, it'll be like click, 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 and it'll be a loud beep. And I know that price is approaching my alert. Or it's actually already hit my alert. Once per bar close, okay? It'll trigger every time the condition is met and the bar is closed. So if you have it on like the 5 minute and that condition is met and your alert goes off, then it'll keep going every time price closes or a bar closes near that alert. So, but I prefer once per minute. That's just me. You have the time it expires. Okay, you can keep it open-ended, which means there's no expiration on it. Notify on app. Okay, notify on app. And I always suggest people download the TradingView app on their phones as well. Because if you don't, and you're away from your computer, you set an alert, how are you going to know that it went off if you don't have the app? Okay, so you download the app, you sign in using the same credentials that you use for this, they sync up. So whatever alerts you set on your computer, they'll notify you on the app. And it'll come up as a standard notification. It'll say this alert's going off or whatever. And then you can just go into your app and look at it. Okay. You can do the same thing on the app as well. You can set alerts on your app the same way you can do them here. Show your pop-up. So once an alert goes off, then I'm sure you guys have seen it on our sessions where it just comes up. There's a box here. It says whatever alert's going off, USD JPY is crossing this or that. Pretty much the same thing down here. Whatever your parameters are, whatever you put in this text box is what's going to come up. Okay, I'm going to change this back to value real quick. You can send an email. You can play the sound. You can have it go off for 30 seconds, for a minute, choose your sound, all that stuff. Okay, so alerts are very customizable within TradingView. You can also send an email to SMS. So you can even get a text on your phone and a notification. You can do whatever you got to do to make sure you don't miss an entry point for your trade. Okay. In here, the message, you can customize your message. So like I said earlier, I like to, whenever I enter a trade, I like to set alerts when I'm a little bit in profit or if I'm out of profit. Okay, just to let me know that, hey, you might want to take a look at your trade. Okay, maybe something I missed or whatever. And we'll see if this keeps coming up. It probably would. Save that. AJ in private. We'll see what happens there. So that's the alerts from this button up here. Okay. You can also add alerts over here. This little plus sign right here. Okay. On this little plus sign, see, this is the alert. Come up, AJ in profit. This is my customized message that I just wrote in there. Okay. So you just hit OK, the alert will go away. You can edit it and place it somewhere else, whatever you got to do. But whatever message you put in there is going to show up on the pop-up if you're still on your computer. And it just popped up on my phone as well because I'm signed in on my phone on the app. So that's that. You can also set alerts by this plus sign over here. Click that, boom, hit add alert right there. Okay, then it'll just pop up. You can move your alert wherever you want to move it. Okay, the same box will show up. You can do everything we just said. All right, so that's how you add alerts on TradingView. Okay, this replay feature, I'm sure you guys have seen us use this time and time again. This is what I love using for back testing. Okay, and this is only with, I want to say, at least the pro version, which is $15 a month. Okay, you do this, you can move, you can erase price wherever you want to erase it. You have your playback bar up here. You can adjust the speed that the bars present themselves. Okay, you can just hit play and the bars will come. You can, when it's fast like this, sometimes I don't like to pause. But yeah, you can just play with this. I love doing this for back testing. This will also back test the indicators as well. So if you have an indicator that, let's use what do you call it that we just did? Let's use the Doji. So if you have an indicator and say, this is what I plan to do in the future anyway, I'm gonna back test how quick these dojis are gonna pop up by using this indicator and by using the replay feature. Okay, this works on every indicator that will give you some sort of indication on the chart whenever something happens. Okay, So I'm going to play this. I just want to see how fast it does, because a lot of indicators, we all know that indicators are lagging, so they don't really present themselves until after price has finished forming. There are a lot of indicators that I've seen out there and I've used personally myself that don't, when they have a pop-up feature from when price presents itself, then it'll show up later within the back testing. So that one that just popped up, looks like it was pretty on point. I just want to double check one more time. So you can definitely use this to even back test the accuracy of your indicators. I just want to see if it pops up when the doji forms. Okay, cool. So it was a little late, but nevertheless, it's still somewhat accurate. I didn't see it really pop up until this candle closed. That's okay. Maybe in real time, it's a little more accurate, but that's the replay feature, okay? Use that for back testing. We went over back testing previously in our last educational Zoom. Marcus knocked that one out. So that's the replay feature. This back button right here, next up. Let's just say, okay, for instance, that you draw a support right here. And you're fiddling around, you're doing all this stuff, and you accidentally move it. And you're like, oh crap, I forgot where I put it. Okay, just hit this back button and it'll go right back to where you had it. And that's pretty much with all of these tools, your drawing tools down here. And it's also for going back to previous currencies that you thought, you know, like, let's just say you're looking at multiple pairs over here, okay? You forgot what pair you're previously on before you moved on to the next one. What you gotta do is hit the back button. It'll take you right back to that previous currency. I drew all these arrows just to, you can use the back button for those as well, just to take those off, okay? So you don't have to click on each arrow individually and go to the little trash can. Okay, so this back button is very handy. So for instance, let's just go to AU. Oh man, I don't want to look at AU, go back. I just stayed in that. Oh man. There's AU. I just go back and it'll take me back to AJ. Okay. So this back button is very handy. When you go back, you can also go forward and take you right back to AU. So these are more for like correctional, like, oops, I made a mistake, I need to go back. This box right here is for your layouts. You have multiple layouts on TradingView. They will make your charts smaller, so it's something that you have to get used to. If you do like looking at multiple charts at the same time, or if you're trying to get into that, what I used to do is I'll have the same pair on 4 charts with different time frames on each little box, so I can look at everything that's happening on every time frame at the same time. I have to keep going back and forth. And this is only, I want to say I think it's 4 or more on the Pro Plus plan. On the Pro, I believe you get up to 4. So you can have 4 of those. You can have all the same things running at the same time. But do remember that when you open up another chart, you're going to have to go into that chart's settings and pretty much play with it, because you can see how I have different things on each of these charts. All right. I have stuff I used to mess with over here for the indicators. I still have this being blacked out. My background's not white, like how I'm used to it. Everything is going to pop up different. So you have to go into each of these screens that you plan on viewing at the same time and play with all those settings to get everything the right way, okay? You can click on each individual screen. You see the blue area around it. That indicates that you're on that chart, okay? And you could change the time frame for that chart. everything that you can do on one screen, it will only apply to the chart that you've selected. All these other charts are just going to do their own thing. Okay, so it's like you have your own little mini screen here with all the features. All right, you can pretty much do whatever on each screen. To get out of this, you have to remember that when you have multiple screens up, your original screen, if you want to go back to one screen, okay, it's very important because this used to mess me up a lot. If you want to go back to one screen or your original screen, it has to be selected before you choose your one screen. You can either choose it by doing this and clicking this one up here, or you come back down to this little box right here. Okay, this little box will bring you back to your one screen. But if you notice, I still have this blue outline around this screen. Okay, it's still indicating that I'm still in, what is it? I'll just say quadruple screen mode. Okay, I still have 4 screens up. So in order to rectify that, I have to go back to here and select one screen. Okay, so that's the multiple screen, or that's the multiple screen layout right there. Your settings you can find up here. You can also right click to get to your settings and come down here. Okay, but for now, we'll just do it off here. You could come up here in your chart settings. Obviously, hopefully you guys know how to change your preferred colors. I like these. I like the bright green and bright red with black wicks and borders. My bid and ask lines, I usually leave those off. I should keep them on. I don't know, but this one more closely resembles Hugo's way for me. So I've been used to just looking at one line on here. I like just seeing just whether it's red and price is going up, or if it's or coming down, or green if it's going up. I don't like having my bid and ask lines here, because you have to adjust those as well, adjust the colors and everything. I like having those off. What's that? Yes. I think we just went over this. I went over this over one of the calls. I want to say it was one of the New York sessions. If you're having trouble on your pip count for whatever pair, okay, since we're on a JPY pair, we know that the second digit behind the decimal is the pip. Okay, that's where your pips are calculated from. If you're having trouble with that, as you switch pairs, you can come to this precision box down here on your chart settings. You hit default, and you can switch how many digits are after the decimal point. Okay, so now this is way easier to count pips from than with 3 digits on your JPY pairs. Okay, so if you're having trouble with your pip count, again, chart settings, precision, you can switch it. Okay, your status line, your open, high, low, close values are up here. Those values indicate, and I'm just going to zoom in on here. These values up here, they indicate the high or the open, the high, the low, and the close of each candlestick. As you move your cursor, those numbers keep moving. It's because they're trying to track each individual candlestick's parameters, okay? So that's your OHLC values on each candlestick. Your symbols, I like to keep them just like this. I always keep them on description. I really don't like having it on a ticker. I like having the description right here. As you can see, I'm changing this right now, AUD or Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. If I hit it for the ticker, then all that goes away. It's just AEDJPY. But I'm just so used to that right now. All these other ones, I never really mess with these settings, to be honest with you. I only do the ones that are really, really gonna make me money. There's so much stuff in here. I'm pretty sure not everybody knows everything about TradingView. So just stick with the settings that you know are gonna help you out. Your scale settings, these I kind of don't dabble into either. Another simple name, you can have this. I already know I'm on AEDJPY. I don't feel the need to have it on the ticker. Last value label, yeah, that's important. You're gonna need that. You need to know where price is at. Okay. Bid and ask labels, like I said, I don't mess with these. This would be a good indication to have for your spread, though. I might consider changing that up. I just never messed with it, but that may be an accurate spread for AEDJPY. So that would be nice to know. I might keep that on at another time. Indicator name, label, pretty sure is, yeah, I don't see anything moving. And all this other stuff, I mean, especially financials name and financial last label, I don't really see that as being too important. Going to appearance, this is where you can change your background. I like mine like that. I used to like it like really dark. But then my lines or my trend lines, my support lines, all that stuff would have to be a lighter color. I really don't like it like that, so I just rather use black. But I know a lot of different people out there with different types of color schemes, and it looks pretty and all that. It's just whatever you want to change this stuff to, or whatever your favorite colors are. I mean, I've seen purple screens and all that stuff, and they adjust the candlesticks to where they can see them, and it's pretty much whatever colors make you happy. Okay, because you want to come, you want to come to trading like, oh, I'm happy. My favorite color is on the screen. Like, just do whatever makes you happy. But as long as you can see price, you can see the wicks, you can see your trend lines and your support and resistance, all that stuff, you're fine. Okay, doesn't really matter. Your session breaks, indicated by this blue dotted line, will pretty much let you know when a session is over. There's an indicator for this. It's actually called sessions. Okay, it has different colors for each session in the trading day. These session breaks, though, they are very I wouldn't say like not noticeable. They're very faint. Like it's really, it's not going to take you away from being able to see the chart and making accurate decisions. Okay. You have that on there if you want. It's going to stay there. And it'll pretty much let you know. I don't think it lets you know when the next one is. It just shows you in the past where your session breaks have been. Okay. Scales text is like your font, however big you want stuff. If you're, can't really see or whatever, or you have a hard time seeing, it'll adjust your price scale, the font of your price scale. Okay. Crosshair, you do your levels or your colors on that. Your watermark back here, I know you guys have seen on some people's charts where they have this in the background. That's the watermark. I really don't like having one on mine because it kind of interferes with me being able to see where price is at. Navigation always visible, top margin, all that other stuff. Your trading, I want to say it's only going to come into play if you open a trading account through TradingView. Okay. I know TradingView has its own broker and everything. So if you open up a trading account through them, you're going to be able to use this settings tab to go here and adjust your settings for that, okay? And of course, you have your events. You can show your economic events on the chart, and they'll show up down here at the bottom. You can hover or click on these, and it'll show everything for that time coming up, or that currency. Pretty much all of these events that are happening. So all your news events, you can have them on your chart. I don't like having them there either. Just cause I just rather use my app and look at it, because I think this takes up chart space as well. I like to have my charts just nothing on there, just mostly price action and my own drawing tools that I put on there. I don't like extra stuff on there. So I'm actually going to take those off because I don't like them. So that's that. On the settings, there's a lot more in there that you're free to go and explore for yourselves. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to go over each and every one of them. You can expand up here, staying up at this top bar. You can expand your chart and go in full screen mode. Okay, we have nothing on here. It's just you and the chart pretty much. The only drawdown to this is that you will have to have your favorites bar in place, because you're not able to pull up your drawing tools or anything else on full screen mode. Okay. You can use the different time frames down here, but for some reason, I don't know why these time frames don't correlate with real time, because I can go to, because this is 3 months. I can hit 3 months and it'll show the 1 hour up here. Okay. Or is that 3 minutes? Either way, 3 months, 3 minutes. It's not 1 hour. Okay. I want to say it's 3 months because it's year, then 1 year, 5 years. Yeah. So this is 3 months. It's 5 days. This is 1 day. 1 day will turn into pretty much the 1 minute. 5 days. That's the 5 minute. Like, that's the only disadvantage I like with that there is with full screen mode. But this will actually be a little better if you plan on taking screenshots. You can exit full screen by just pressing escape on your keyboard. Now we're back to everything. If you want to take a screenshot, simply hit this camera up here. You can either save the image to your computer or you can copy it. Okay. So this is for pretty much when this is a preference for me, and I want to say for Marcus as well. When we ask students to send us their charts, this is how we like for them being sent. Okay, through the screenshot feature in TradingView. Either that, or you can send a screenshot on your phone, doing the same thing. But this is a preference for me. I know that way I can see what they're seeing. They're not sending me, they're not taking a picture on their phone of their screen. I'm like, I can't see that. I don't know what you're looking at. I want to be able to zoom in, zoom out, and pretty much see what you're seeing on the screen. So this is a preferred method for sending in screenshots. Okay. Hit copy, boom, paste it to whoever you're sending it to, and it'll show up picture perfect, just like you see on your screen. So that's how you take screenshots. Let's go over here on the right to your watch list. I don't know if you guys know, but you can have multiple watch lists. Okay. And I think this is only for at least the $15 version. I'm not sure 100% if it's for the free version or not. Couldn't tell you that. But you can have multiple ones. And let's just say you want to come. I'll show you guys how to add all this stuff in a minute as well. But let's say I want to add Bitcoin to another list. I can just right click on it, and I can add Bitcoin to these other two. Okay, and it'll show up on these lists. So me and Marcus, as educators, we like to have all of these pairs in our watch list, so we can just quickly go to one if someone has a question on it or whatever. What I recommend, okay, for you guys is to create a separate checklist. Create a separate watch list and only put your pairs in that list so you won't be tempted to look at something else. If you're a USD pair type person, you trade USD JPY, USD CAD, GU, EU, whatever it is. Make that separate watch list and add those to that one watch list. So those are the only pairs that you're going to be looking at. And I think that's a great way for you to pretty much avoid fear of missing out, especially if somebody throws out a signal and it's not for your pair. Come to your watch list and it'll be a stark reminder that like, that's not on my watch list, man, you know? And maybe I shouldn't trade it. I only have my pairs that I need to focus on my watch list. So create a separate watch list for your own pairs so you won't be tempted to look at all these pairs and kind of be overwhelmed like, oh man, there's so much to look at. There's so much money out here. Like the only ones you need to be concerned about are the ones that are in your own personal watch list, okay? Up here, symbol, these are all pretty much classified as symbols because they're comprised of the different aspects of Forex. Like you got your metals, you got your gold, you got your silver, those are metals. You got your US 30, SPX, NAS 100, those are your indices. You got your indexes up here. So these all have different classifications within TradingView. So that's why they just have your symbol up here, okay? You can sort it, you can adjust it. You can also, I like to have mine like this, but I bet that a lot of yours has all this information on here, okay? I like to have all this extra stuff off because I really don't need it. And it takes up more chart space for me to be able to see all this stuff within the watch list side, okay? So you can go here to these three dots and just take off everything. Now I just need the last. I need where price is at. Like that's all I need for that pair. And I'll go ahead and scroll in a little bit and boom, I'm good, okay? To add anything to your watch list, you can't just bring up a pair through the top left-hand side or by just like typing it in, okay? You can't add it that way. You have to add a symbol to your watch list at the add symbol portion up here. So let's say I wanted to add another, why am I fascinated with USD JPY today? I don't know. And we can go to all over here. And let's say I wanted to look at FXCM and see what that USD JPY looks like, because mine is Owanda. When you add a symbol, it's going to show up at the bottom, okay? And it'll be in the same format as the rest of them. If you want to remove any symbol from your watch list, you just click on this X right here and it'll be gone, okay? This is how you add pairs, indices, whatever, to your watch list. You have to add the symbol, okay? Let's go to this bar over here. Honestly, I never mess with this stuff, okay? The only one I really mess with is this one up here and the alarms. This is where all your alarms are stored. There's a log for all the alarms that you placed, okay? But this one pretty much gets rid of your watch list and you have a pretty close to full screen, okay? This one, it'll have all your alarms. It'll have the ones that you see this little pause sign right here. This means this alarm is still active, okay? And I can stop it, I can edit it, I can delete it, I can do whatever. If it's already played out or if it's already been triggered, I can restart it through here, okay? The only time that it's going to show up in your alerts log is if you've acknowledged that it's went off. Okay. Like if you hit the OK sign when a little pop-up comes up and you hit OK, then it'll show up in your log. The last one we set was for AUDJPY. Okay. And if you hover over this little message, then it can pretty much show you the parameters of that alert. Okay. The one that we had for AUDJPY, boom, in profit. Okay. Because that's what I wrote in the message box for that alert. So it'll show all of that other stuff in there. Okay. You can get rid of all this stuff. You can just clear the log, boom, and it's gone. These up here, you can pretty much do the same thing. Okay, you can stop all, delete all that's inactive, or just delete them all. Okay, so you can do the same thing. These other features down here, I don't really mess with them. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't. But pretty much just going over the basics of TradingView so you guys can pretty much utilize most of its features that we're showing you today. I want to say this down here. If some of you guys like have this up here like this, because I know it opens up and like half your watch list is probably filled with stuff like this, you can just drag it up and down through this little bar right here. I just drag it all the way down. Same with the headlines. You know, it's taking up half your stuff, just bring it down. Okay. And I can see pretty much my whole watch list. So, besides all this stuff that I've shown you already, are there any other like personal questions about TradingView that I haven't covered or that you guys need some more clarification on? Be glad to go over it. While there are, or while you guys are thinking about those, I'll show you another feature. If you're marking up your charts and say you're going through and you're identifying your highs, your lows, or you know, your support and resistance and all that stuff. If you go to this little bar or this pencil and lock over here, it's gonna let you stay in drawing mode. Okay. So I can go up here, I can hit this one time, and I can come through here and set multiple support and resistance lines and all that stuff without having to click this button again. Okay. If I'm not in drawing mode and I take that off, then I have to do it every time. I have to go back. See, I'm clicking through here and it won't let me. I have to go back and hit this button every time. So if you want to stay in drawing mode and set multiple things, like that's pretty much what we use for, you know, our arrows to show like direction and all that stuff. And show our breaks and our retests and all this stuff. Like I can do that, double click. I can just stay in drawing mode the whole time. Okay. Can't really do that if you don't have your button pressed in. And also with this one, I used to use this feature all the time. Zoom in feature. You pretty much have it like your box. Like you have this little magnifying glass, and you pretty much section off whichever section you want to zoom in, and it'll end up taking up the whole screen like that. So it's kind of just like, you know, a zoom in, zoom out type thing, but it's more for if you want to get a closer look at something, or if you can't get your chart right, or you want to look at price action a little deeper, you just section off a certain area of the screen and it'll jump right to it, and you can adjust it from there. Obviously, this trash can gets rid of all your drawing tools that you have up. The right click, you can pretty much do all this. You can lock your vertical line on your time axis, which I really don't like doing. So it'll take your vertical line from your crosshair and lock it to wherever you had it at. That could be a feature for back testing, or pretty much just sectioning off a certain amount of time from where a price ended or began. I really don't like having that on anyway. Besides back testing, I really don't see the point of it. But that's just me. This trade button, that has to do with linking your trade account to TradingView as well. And you can just go in here and click that. I've never messed with that. I've never linked my broker with TradingView at all, so I couldn't tell you from experience how it works. Okay, all I know is that you have to have an account through TradingView to be able to use that feature. Color scheme, same thing. You can go light, you can go dark, and it'll automatically set everything for you. Pretty sure it does these as well. No, it doesn't. You have to manually go in here and play with your colors and all that for your drawing tools. But as far as everything else, your candlesticks, your price, your the colors for that, your favorites bar down here, all that stuff, it all automatically be adjusted in light or dark mode. And when you go back, unfortunately, you got to do everything all over again because you just switched color schemes. So I'm going to have to go back here and at another time and pretty much change everything to how I like it. This lock over here is to lock the drawing tools so you don't accidentally throw something else in there so you can't use them. You can hide everything. You can hide this whole thing over here or your drawing tools over here. And besides that, I really don't think that there's any more. This is the basics. This is pretty much everything you need to know to be able to navigate and use TradingView in the best way possible. And remember, these extra features like the replay feature, they're only for a paid subscription. Everything else we've went over, guys. Hopefully this has been very informative and educational for you guys. I know it takes a long time to get used to TradingView, especially if you're new and you don't have anybody to go through it with you. You're kind of just thrust into, these charts and, oh, how do you put that up there and how do you do that? It took me forever to find out that I can do this and I can move my chart how I wanted to. I don't know how many times I've seen people do that and they just I'm like, how is this chart moving like that? Like he's just moving it around, and it took me forever. Nobody ever told me. I just had to pay attention to what somebody's mouse was doing on a Zoom. Like, oh, that's how you do that. Okay. You press the back undo button to go back to the original colors. Oh, I didn't try that. It might. Well, it's gonna be a lot of back because I've moved my screen out a lot. We'll see though. I'm just gonna keep pressing it. There's light. That's dark. Let's see, man. Let's see. You might be on to something. Hey, look at that. I see you learning already. That's what's up. I got my chart back. Thanks, man. That was going to take me a while. I forget about it sometimes, man. But yeah, thanks for that. It saved me some trouble. But other than that, y'all, I think that's about it. I think that's about all I have for you guys for the TradingView tutorial. Actually, I guess there's one last thing. You guys, make sure you go in here and switch your time zone down at the time, because it's always going to show the standard time, which is UTC. And this is I forgot how many hours ahead that this is. It looks like it's about 8, I want to say, maybe 7. I think it's 7. Yeah, because it's -7 for Phoenix, and I'm in Arizona. So make sure you change your time zone so you can better correlate when certain moves happened. Okay. And you can go back and be like, okay, it'll really help you out with your back testing as well. If you don't have like your sessions indicator on or anything like that, I can show you that real quick. There's all kind of features on TradingView. So this is the sessions chart that I use. Each of these different colors represents a different session within a trading day. We're currently in the Asian session, so it's going to be purple. New York session is this color. I think that's like a peach or whatever. This is the overlap between London and New York, and so on and so forth. And those same three colors will play out the whole time. If you have your time zone set to the right one, then it'll help you even more. I usually, well, not usually, when I do like jump on London session or something like that, I'll have this indicator up because I already know what time all the sessions end and start for my time zone. So, but in these little, I think these little spaces, they're pretty much the gap between the New York session and the Asian session. But if you do have your time zone to the correct one, then you can see when these candlesticks played out for whichever time frame that you're on. Okay. And that will just help with your back testing as well. And it'll also better help you communicate when certain moves happened within the market. I know when I'm looking at somebody else's chart and I'm trying to critique them, like, well, look back at like noon when, you know, that candle right there happened or whatever. It's easy to see which candlestick or which pattern, whatever you're looking at. It's easier to see where it starts and where it ends if you have your time zone in the correct spot. So, but yeah, that's the sessions one. And I think that was the last thing. I just wanted to throw it out there real quick so you guys can see. As far as any other questions, anything at all that we haven't covered here, you guys just hit up me or Marcus. This is what we love to do, man. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. I know we went overboard a little bit, and it's like, what, it's about 6:15 now. But I do appreciate you guys sticking with us through this educational session. I know it really wasn't advertised that much, but we wanted to make sure that this is what we wanted to do and that we kind of didn't, I guess, interfere with anybody else's session or any of the other educators' sessions, which we may have done anyway. But I know that there's a few people that needed something like this, and they're not going to be able to understand much if they're watching someone else mark up their charts and then they go in their own charts and they can't duplicate anything because they don't know where to start. So I'm glad we were able to knock this out. Again, this is going to be recorded. We'll upload it to YouTube and everything so you guys can go back and look at it. If there are certain topics in here that weren't covered, like I said, you can hit up either me or Marcus. We'll gladly run you through it. No problem, Dr. Esther. I appreciate you sticking with us. There's other little secrets and cheats and all that stuff to TradingView that pop up all the time. I learn about all the time, and I mean, I just don't really delve too deep into them because I don't need them. But there are a lot of hidden features within TradingView that are very interesting, and I encourage you guys to go and look through those just on your spare time. I ran into one guy that he was like a chart guru, man, I swear. And I used to teach him, and he's like, man, I'm just in these charts all the time. And he shows me stuff, and I'm like, man, I didn't even know the stuff that he knew because he just stayed in the charts and messed with different features. He'd look them up, he'd research them, learn how to use them. He's like, man, let me show you this. I'd be like, dang, man, that's slick. So it pays to really, really, really get good at charting. Okay, because that's where your money's gonna come from. So, but other than that, guys, I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. I appreciate you sticking with us. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m. for the New York session. And then later on, we'll have the Asian session with my dude Marcus. Once again, he can make us feel all warm and fuzzy about ourselves because of his soothing and eloquent voice. So you guys have a good night, and we'll catch you in the charts.